Hey everybody, it's Pooch. Wanted to do a video response to Hiberniason, Irish, on his video entitled Interlocking Fields of Fire. I have no critique, but just wanted to add on to what he was talking about. So what you have here and what I'm going to title this video is range cards. So recalling Irish's video, he talked about having fighting positions along a set line. And he also talked about setting up interlocking fields of fire. That's the red lines that we have here. What I wanted to do is talk about something more specific, and it's having what's called a range card involved for all of your fighting positions. And what I've done here is I've named each fighting position. I'm going to call this the snake pit, right? So this here is fighting position Viper, Anaconda, Boa, and Copperhead. So what I've done is, this is my range card that I put together for my scenario. Since I'm in fighting position Anaconda, I highlighted it to be a different color. I also labeled it that this is the fighting position Anaconda. What else I've done is, within this fighting position, I shot azimuths so that I could identify my left and right lateral limits. So my left lateral limit, the azimuth was shot, and I'm at 327 degrees. So the azimuth that you have right here comes on to 327 degrees. This position is facing directly north, and your right lateral limit is at 34 degrees. If you'll notice, as you go across the fighting positions, each one of those should have their own separate azimuth set. But what I've done is I've just set it up for this one. So I know that anything here within this field of fire is okay for me. And you can see where Boa intersects, you can see where Copperhead intersects, and you can see where Viper intersects. Alright, next thing is drawing key terrain features. So in my little scenario here, this is some sort of lake. You've got a road that comes around, right? You've got an intersection up here. You've got a tree line out here. You've got a broken down car out here. You can see the little sign. You got a bridge that intersects with this road and a river that goes over this way as well. So what you want to do is you want to call these things out on your range card, and you want to identify them as targets. So starting up here, we have target alpha. That's the intersection in the road, and I also labeled it as 500, meaning 500 meters out. Additionally, this little purple building here, you can call it a boathouse, whatever you want. But I labeled this as target Bravo, and this is 200 meters out. Scanning on to the east, you'll have this tree line here. This is 250 meters out, and we're going to label this target Delta, and on and on and on. Now, one thing that I wanted to point out was that even in this fighting position, knowing my right lateral limit is 34 degrees, you'll notice that this specific target out here is not within my field of fire. It's important though to note these things and make sure that everything's consistent across all of your different fighting positions, because if something happened to Private Schmuckatelli over here, or Joe Shit the Ragman, whatever the case is, fighting position Boa, you need to get in there. That is within your field of fire, and you'll want to know that that's target Echo, and it's 600 meters out. Last thing you want to do is also consider your avenues of approach. So we know that up here and here at this intersection, these are avenues of approach. Coming over here, over this bridge, this is an avenue of approach. And then also here on this road is an avenue of approach. Another thing to consider is if this tree line here went back farther, you couldn't maybe see past it, this also could be an avenue of approach, because your opposing force could be coming through and sneak it up on you that way. So one other thing you may want to consider adding is your avenues of approach, and call them out here on your range card. Alright, I think that's all that I had. I hope that it makes sense. If you have any questions, feel free to put it down in the comment, or send me an IM or PM, or whatever it's called. And hopefully this has been helpful to demonstrate that in addition to identifying your interlocking fields of fire, you also want to put down some key terrain features and set some known distance targets out there That way in the middle of the night, if something happens and somebody from Finding Hoboa calls out that there's a truck coming through target A, you know it's 500 meters out and can get your dope on and zoom in real quick. That's all that I had. Hope it was of value, and we'll talk to you later.